Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to today's episode of Modesty's Property Corner. I'm so used to my money masterclass. Okay, this is Modesty's Property Corner, and this is season 1, episode number 8. We missed an episode last week, and I promised you guys we're not going to miss this week's episode, even though there's some work going on in my office. I should have been going on in my office, but it's not happening yet. So I just want to steal this time and make sure I fulfill my promise. So I remain Ikenna Umezudike. I'm the director of Modesty Property Consultants Limited. We are an estate agency business based in Luton, offering sales, lettings, and management services, and we are affiliated to a mortgage advice called the Independent Mortgage and Loan Company. I am a mortgage advisor myself, so I work directly for this company, and we offer our mortgage services through them. They are all regulated and authorized by the Financial Conduct Authority. All right, so today we are going to be looking at February market roundup. Just looking at news, events, incidents, articles, and happenings. That's all things that happened in the market industry and the mortgages industry, in the property market and the mortgage industry in February 2022. Yes, where do we start? We're going to start with a little bit of worry or concern. And this is a news article that appeared in Landlord Zone, where it has indicated that there are concerns among landlords about the government's proposed plan mandating landlords to upgrade their properties to EPC level of at least level C. And this regulation, when it comes into place, it is landlords are required by the year 2025 to upgrade all their properties to at least level C by 2025 for all their new tenants, and by 2028 for all existing tenants. So landlords will be mandated to make sure that all their properties measure up to that EPC level of at least C. So this has raised a few concerns among landlords, and the concern here is the time frame that the government has given to landlords to make this happen. They are thinking this is really too short and it's not practicable, because the legislation backing this up is still working its way up in the parliament, so it's not law yet. And then the expectation is that this will become a law by 2023. So if it becomes a law by 2023, it means landlords have got just 2 years to make this upgrade happen, which is 2025 for all their new tenants. And then for the existing tenants, they will have like 5 years to make that happen. But now they are looking at the issue of making this happen within 2 years. How feasible is that? How possible is that? Some of these properties will need the wall being stripped, and then insulation, the insulation work being carried out, and this will potentially cost thousands of pounds. And a lot of the landlords are saying, especially landlords that own properties that don't cost that much. If you go up north, there are properties that cost £100,000 or less, and some of these works will cost them tens of thousands of pounds. Assuming it cost them about £18,000 to fix this, for a property worth £100,000, they're going to spend £18,000 to fix this issue and upgrade that property. But that's one part of the worry. The other part of the worry is, when are the tenants going to leave? Right? If the work is going to be carried out and it's going to take 2 weeks for that to happen, are the tenants going to be living on site while the work is being carried out? So there are all sorts of issues here that the landlords are really concerned about. So it's a real concern for landlords, for an industry that's is really struggling under the choke of a lot of government regulations. So looking forward to this again, landlords are saying, why don't the government make it in such a way that landlords will carry this work out as the tenants are churned over? So as tenants are leaving, then you can carry out that work before you allow a new tenant in. And then it makes it a bit more feasible for the landlord to do that and not having to worry where the tenants are going to be or going to live while the work is being carried out. And in some cases, some landlords are saying, you know what, it's not really worth it. If it's going to cost me this much to fix this property and bring it up to EPC level C, then I might as well just get out of the industry and do something else with my money. Because if my property costs £100,000, and then you know how much yield that property will be giving you, and then you're going to invest this much in that property, it's not worth their time. That's the opinion in some quarters for some landlords, because it's not worth their time. And if landlords quit, the industry and they give up on their properties, the issue of supply for rental properties is still not going to be addressed, because the less landlords we have, the more issue of supply, the more supply issues we have. So the call here from landlords is simply that the government should just use their common sense and think about the impact of this, and more time for landlords and the practicable time frame for this to be achieved. We can all understand where the government is coming from. The drive for greener homes, the drive to save energy, the drive to make the UK, Britain, a more energy efficient country to live in, to help the climate and to do all that. It's all, a wonderful ambition to have. But it is down to the practicalities of these things and how they are going to be applied. So the time frame is an issue for landlords, and where the tenants are going to live. So do get in touch with us if you're a landlord and you're worried and you're concerned about this thing. Just to let us know what your opinion is. Do you think the the governments are right, in putting that time frame? Do you think landlords have enough time to deal with this? If this law comes into place in 2023, do you think 2 years is long enough time for landlords to fix this? And what about the cost? And another thing that has not even been factored in is the tradesmen who are going to carry out this work. So if there's just 2 years to do this work, imagine the demand for tradesmen. So the demand is just going to skyrocket, and then you struggle to find tradesmen and workers who have the availability to actually come and do the work for you. Because once the rush starts, everybody gets booked, workload becomes too much. Landlords are going to have to wait a long time to get available tradesmen who will come and fix this thing, and people who know what they are doing. So it's something that has not even been factored into all this deal. But hey, that's one of the news articles in Landlord Zone in February. Okay, we're going to look at another news article in Landlord Zone, where it was talking about the spike in the number of landlords quitting the rental market in Wales. So if you're a landlord in Wales, or you intend to buy property in Wales for investment purposes, get in touch with us. Let's know what your experience is like in Wales, and see if this actually reflects the reality on ground in the rental market in Wales. So why are landlords quitting the rental market in Wales? According to the trade body Property Mark, they are reporting that their estate agents who belong to this trade body, are reporting that landlords, an average of 5 landlords are leaving per estate agency. An average of 5 landlords per estate agency are quitting the rental market. Now this is huge. An average of 5 landlords per estate agency. This is huge, because this is actually twice the national average of landlords who are leaving the rental market. And it's not good news for the rental market in Wales that landlords are quitting the rental market. Why is it not good news? Because there will simply be less supply of rental properties. People who want to rent will not be able to find properties to rent. Now, why are they quitting the rental market? Now, this has something to do with the new rule or law or regulation that the Welsh government is bringing into place again. Again, another regulatory issue. I mean, landlords are getting strangled with regulation. It's always one regulation after the other, one regulation after the other. And the landlords are crying out and saying to the government, can you give us a breathing space? Can the government just recognize that landlords are running a business? That this is actually a business we are running and not a charity. So much regulation. Now, the regulatory issue in Wales are now forcing landlords to quit the rental market. What is this regulatory issue? There's a new law, called the Home Renting Wales Act, right? Renting Homes Wales Act. This act of Parliament, this law is looking to extend the notice period that landlords are going to give tenants in Wales before they quit their property. The notice period, this law wants to increase and extend it. And the landlords are up in arms because since COVID, this has been the situation. Because of COVID, the notice period have been extended and landlords cannot just evict tenants out of property because of COVID. All right? And landlords have had to endure a lot of that. They have incurred a lot of costs, a lot of losses as well because of these regulations. And during COVID, it was understandable. Landlords were able to say, okay, we are here to support our tenants. We want to support our tenants. We want to make sure that, we help them as much as possible. The government came in with laws saying you cannot evict your tenant without, giving them 6 months notice before you quit the property. In fact, you can't even evict them at all during COVID, right? Now, gradually, that has been eased. But because, the UK, they have different laws, guiding rental properties and the property market in different nations. England, Wales, and Scottish and Northern Ireland, they all have their different laws. So in Wales, they are now trying to make it a law to extend the notice period that landlords are going to be giving tenants before they quit their property. And this is really driving landlords up in Wales nuts. And some of them are really saying, look, we can't deal with this anymore. I'm going to sell up and I'm going to give up this property and I'm going to move out. So average of 5 landlords per estate agency are quitting the rental market in Wales. This just brings us to the issue of the supply-demand imbalance as well, because this is not helping issues. Okay, this is not helping issues. In Wales, it's reported that an average of 313 applicants are on an estate agency's books. An average of 313 applicants per estate agency, according to the statistics from Property Mark. These are people who are looking for rental property. Just imagine an average of over 300 applicants on an estate agent's book. These are people looking for properties to rent. And then the laws and the rules and the regulations are not making it easier for landlords to bring properties to the market. Instead of bringing properties to the market, the landlords are actually quitting the property market. So it's really a struggle for those landlords, to make that happen. So the third thing we're going to be looking at today on these updates is the changes that are coming in again with respect to property listings. So when you want to list your property for rental or sales, there are now changes. The trading standards in the UK are now bringing in what they call basic or required information rule. Just 1 second. 1 second, guys.
I've got the carpet people calling. Is everything all right for them to come do the carpets?
I'm actually literally done in 10-15 minutes.
Oh no, yeah, they won't be here for like another half an hour or
Okay,
so.
yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, sorry everyone. Had to go and attend to that. Okay, so the basic or required information rule is coming in. So if you want to advertise your property on Rightmove or Zoopla or any property portal now, the governments are bringing this rule in phases. So phase one of it has taken off in February. And there are basic information that you must advertise and include that information when you're advertising property. You see, for rental properties, it's things like the council tax band. You must include the rent or the price. You know, you must include the deposit amount of that property, and so these are things that are being phased in. So this is phase one of it. And then for sales property, you must include things like, you know, the tenure of the property. Is it freehold? Is it common hold? Is it leasehold? Those are basic information that you are required by law to include. And then there are two more phases coming in later on in the year, where they'll be including things like the utilities that are available in that property. If you want to advertise the property for rental, or if you want to sell the property, you know, you'll be required to include, you know, some more basic information. The idea behind this really is to offer the buyer or the tenant enough information to make informed decision, so that when they look at a property advert, they can straight away see what features the property has and what the property has to offer, and then they'll be able to make, you know, informed decisions. And this is really good for transparency in the property market, because we have seen properties that are being advertised and you see things where they are supposed to put the rent, they will just put things like POA, or where they're supposed to put the property price, they just put things like POA, that is price on application. So if you want the property, you inquire and then we'll tell you the price, you know, or the price structure will not be clear enough to you and they'll just put price. So the Trading Standards Organization just want to make this clear, make it clear enough to the tenant to say, if you want to rent a property, you have a right to know what a council tax band is. You have a right to know what utilities are available in that property. You have a right to know what deposit amount you are required to put down to get that property. Transparency. So the government are looking to make it a law. So this first phase has taken off in February, and all agents and landlords and vendors have until May to comply with this. So, you know, you could be getting heavily fined if you do not comply with this. The implication of this is it then becomes important for the estate agents or the landlords or the vendors at the time they are advertising their properties, especially for sale, you know, to bring in the solicitor at that stage and let the solicitor, you know, advise on what information are required by law to be included in that advert. And at that point, the solicitors will now even start conducting the searches, you know, to find out whether there are restrictive covenants and all that that's affecting the property. It makes the whole process a lot quicker, more transparent, and, you know, helpful for everybody. So very soon we'll come to a stage where by the time you want to sell your property, the estate agent or the vendor, you will get the solicitor involved before you even advertise the property, just to make sure that that property advert complies with the law. This is a very, very big change in the property industry that we all have to be aware of. And it's good for the consumer, and it's also good for the, you know, estate agents and for everybody involved in the property transaction as well. Okay, what else are we looking at that happened in February? Okay, yes. On mortgage strategy, there's this news article that talked about the increase in searches for risky borrowers by mortgage advisors. So what that article was actually saying, you know, they were reporting, I think it was Legal and General Mortgage Club, that reported that there has been an increase in searches for, you know, risky borrowers. Risky borrowers are borrowers that have imperfect credit reports. People who have imperfect credit status. they are risky borrowers. So there has been a 157% increase in searches for lenders that offer solutions to this kind of borrowers by mortgage advisors. 157%. That was, this report was as at January, but it's, the statistics became available in February. So compared to what it was in December, in January, there has been a 157% increase in searches of people who are in this category looking for mortgages. And then a further research found out that those who are mortgage arrears and those who have missed mortgage payments, there has been an increase in searches of borrowers in that category as well. The mortgage arrears, I think it's 66% increase, and those who have missed mortgage payments, I think it's 71%. So you can see that more and more people who are finding themselves in difficult circumstances are coming onto the market and looking for solutions. And who are the people who are providing them these solutions? And by the way, people who are in debt management plan, there's been an increase in searches for people in that category by about 134%. So searches for lenders who will lend to people who have been in debt management plan or who are currently in debt management plan have increased by 134% as of January. So you can see that across all these difficult circumstances and situations and scenarios, there have been increase in searches for lenders who are willing to help these people. So these people with imperfect credit situations are also looking for mortgage solutions. They might be looking to remortgage, they might be looking to purchase a property or even an equity transfer or get into a buy-to-let business and all that. They want mortgage solutions and they are searching. So, and more and more of them are coming to the market. This just places emphasis on the importance of mortgage brokers. So, because people like this don't even know, a lot of them don't even know the solutions that are available to them. A lot of them don't even know that there is a solution to their problem at all. There are a lot of people who think that they have imperfect credit, therefore they can never get a mortgage. They never even attempt because they feel there's no point, I can't get a mortgage. But my advice to you is, if you feel you find yourself in this situation and you want to know what solutions are available to you, speak to a broker, and speak to a broker who is willing to do the work, because not all brokers are willing to do the work. Speak to a broker and be open to the broker and say to the broker, this is my situation. In fact, there was one case I just did recently. This woman's credit report shows that her credit score was 999 out of 999. That is excellent. And then you would think that this is just a spotless credit report, so it would be an easy peasy situation. And then we went to arrange a mortgage for her, but I didn't even know how I did not pick that out from her credit report. But I thought with the credit score, the lender would ignore that anyway. But the lender picked out something on her credit report, and it was a couple of missed payments that happened in her credit report, less than 3 years ago. Meanwhile, she has 999 out of 999, and she felt that she had no credit issues. And really, until we went to do a mortgage in principle for her, but we couldn't get that mortgage in principle from that lender because of that blip, just a couple of missed payments. And those missed payments, according to my clients, were not really missed payments. They were misunderstandings, and the Ombudsman Service advised her not to stop paying until that situation is resolved. And she went with that advice, and it was recorded against her as a missed payment, and it's now affecting her ability to get a mortgage. So what happened was that we now took that case and we went to a different lender who was willing to accommodate that level of missed payments, and we were able to get her a mortgage in principle. So basically, if the mortgage advisor understands your situation, they will be in a better position to advise you on where who the best lender will be, or who is in the best position to lend you that money. Don't give up on that situation. No matter how bad or how poor the credit situation is, give it a go. Speak to a broker, see what options are available to you. You will be amazed at what comes back to you. So finally, I just want to give you a general summary or overview of what's happening in the mortgage interest rates market. I mean, since February and coming into March, we have been seeing an increase, a gradual increase in interest rates, mortgage interest rates across all different fixes, the 2-year fixes, the 3-year fixes, the 5-year fixes, the 10-year fixes. Across all fixes, we have been seeing increase in interest rates gradually. Some of them very significant, some of them by just a minor basis points. But then there has also been a reduction in interest rates in those fixed rate mortgages, but on different loan to values. But in general, most of the LTVs, the loan to values, have experienced interest rate rises. And this is causing further squeeze on people's personal finance. A lot of people who are looking to buy a property right now, are having to think hard and twice about it and making sure that they can really afford it. And my advice would be, if you're still sitting on the fence and you're still deciding whether to do it or not to do it, if you have the ability and the affordability to do it now, because guaranteed, as time goes on in the year, as long as inflation keeps running away from the Bank of England, there might possibly be another rate rise. That is the prediction. And if that happens, the repercussion, the ripple effect is that interest rates will keep rising. And people are beginning to fix their mortgages for a longer period of time because they want a longer protection. But listen, longer term fixed mortgages is not for everybody, and it's not ideal in all circumstances. Again, speak to your broker, have a conversation, and let your broker have a feel of what your what your appetite to risk looks like, right? And the both of you can reach an agreement or a conclusion to say, having assessed your situation, this is best for you. Like the case I just concluded for my client, I got them a mortgage. I noticed that if the lenders were only willing to lend on a 5-year fix, because that was the only fixed term mortgage that could get them the amount they wanted to borrow. So based on how much they wanted to borrow, it can only fit within a 5-year fixed mortgage. So I had to recommend the 5-year fixed mortgage for them because that was the only product that could satisfy that objective for them. So there are a lot of things that could influence these things. It could be your credit status. Maybe in 5 years' time, your credit status will be better. So why we fix it now for 5 years, and in 5 years' time, some of the things on your credit report would have fallen off, and then you'll be all clear to go and get yourself a very, very good deal. It might be that your situation might be better in 2 years' time. So you take a 2-year fixed mortgage because your credit is not very good now, but it will be better in 2 years' time. And in 2 years' time, you come back to the market, you remortgage onto a better rate. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening, and thank you for being part of today. And I'm going to see you guys again next week. Don't forget to join me in Modesty's Money Masterclass on Monday. Love you guys. Bye now, and see you next week. Have a fantastic day. Cheers.